Professor! Let me get rid of this guy right here. All right. Let me get you up here, Professor. That ain't it. Where you at? There it is. Why do I keep hearing myself, man? I got echoes going on. Have to figure this thing. Here we go. Oh, that's why I got two of these damn things. What the hell?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now loud and clear. Professor! You know what? Check this out. Do you hear an echo? Do you hear me speaking twice?
No, I got rid of the YouTube page. I'm just on the StreamYard. That's why it echoes sometimes.
Oh, all right.
Good night, you scarf that food down.
I inhaled that damn thing.
Yep.
That was
It's like,
crazy.
yeah, you sucked that up like a vacuum cleaner.
Say what? Check this out, though. Check this out right here. I got the
Odium.
odium, like a gallon of this military issue.
As nasty as that coffee is, I'd love to have some to make soap with it, actually.
Coffee soap.
Yep, I gotta remember the name of the brand. It's been so many years since I've been out.
Folgers.
I know Folgers is one, but there really was a military brand that came in a can that I used to see on the ship. And I think
Oh,
you could
yeah?
buy it commercial. Yeah, I just can't remember the name. You needed coffee, especially if you worked on aircraft carrier and you were up on the flight deck. Those are 16-hour days.
Damn.
You better drink or keep something with you to keep you up.
Damn.
I didn't work on the flight deck. I told them when I came in, clear as day, I want to be on aircraft carriers, but put me nowhere near that flight deck.
Girl, I saw. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I saw footage of one of those guys that were working on the flight deck, and the pilot fired up. And you know the suction that thing has.
Yep.
Girl, don't you know that? Um, don't you know that that thing sucked up that sailor right into that engine?
Oh,
But he survived.
that's the worst part. Because if you're unalived from it, that's one thing. But I heard when you survive, you gonna need therapy and everything,
Well,
physical and mental.
he didn't need any physical therapy, but that psychological therapy, 100%. Apparently, I guess something on his zipper or something caught the edge of that thing and stopped him from getting sucked up into the turbines.
Oh, okay. Because if it was the turbines, he would have died. Yep.
Yeah, he would have been. Yeah, he would have been all set after that.
Yep.
He would have been done for. That's crazy.
I
And
thought you
those.
I thought you was gonna say that the wind from it knocked him all clean into the water. I've heard of
Oh,
that.
that's another thing. Getting knocked off from that height, that's not good.
Nope. Because you're gonna break some bones.
Without a doubt. That thing is super high.
Yep. People can jump from that. It's one thing if it's a controlled jump, it's another thing if a force pushes you because you have no time to react.
I don't know if you've ever seen some of these guys that work on the oil rigs out at sea. That is insane.
I wouldn't do that. I watched a special on that like a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, y'all nuts. Especially at night when you can't see nothing, you take the wrong step, you out in the ocean and it's over.
You're gone. And these are rough seas in the North Sea. I was watching the one in the North Sea. Those are rough. Those are rough waters.
Yep, I've seen how the waves come up on their platforms. I said, oh no, I don't care how good y'all's food is. That's a hard.
They don't get paid all that good either.
I didn't know that.
They don't get paid all that good. If they told you, listen, Professor, this is our only job available in the world on planet Earth. Okay? And we need somebody. Everybody keeps saying no. How much would you want for pay to be considered for that job?
No offense, but that should be approaching or near six figures.
So I think it should be approaching seven figures. How's that?
Yeah, that works. But it can't be under six figures or you're insulting people's intelligence.
It's got to be somewhere. If it's going to be six figures, that first number got to be a 5 or better.
Yep.
Got to be a 5 or better. Because there's no way.
I wouldn't do it. Nope.
No way. There's no way. What? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
The way that thing works? Hell no. What?
You ain't getting no ghost pepper wings out there either.
No. Ain't no ghost pepper. Ain't none of that. I'm gonna have to shift positions over here because the lighting here sucks. I'm gonna have to put my lamp on. My ring light. The official.
I wonder where DeAndre is right now.
DeAndre doesn't get my notifications, he says. I believe him.
YouTube does that on purpose. But DeAndre covered something I might, if I have time, go back and watch about that white woman who entered that threesome with those two black guys and called rape.
Oh, that is disgusting.
Simply because they got hard evidence that no rape ever occurred. She said she feared for her life, but showed up at their house with cupcakes, and the footage shows that nobody forced her. That dude was taping.
That dude was smart.
I'm not telling people date who you want to date because my husband's not black. But there's a difference between having a preference and having a fetish. And this woman could have ruined y'all's lives.
Over a fetish, because that was her thing. Her thing was a fetish. I don't care what anybody says.
That was more her than them. And everybody going after the black dudes won't feel sorry for y'all because of la. I'm like, but she was the one with the fetish, felt sick and disgusted by it, didn't want to call great when it didn't work the way she wanted it to.
Was she married? That might have been the reason why she was doing that.
I think her and her husband were separated at the time. I don't know if they've still remained married, but people are cooking her online.
She needs to get cooked. She needs to get roasted.
The thing about it is she's never going to get a decent man again, and she's already up in her late 40s, early 50s.
Oh, she's done. She's done.
Yep, she's good as done. You can't lie about stuff like that.
Nope.
Because I think the only state I know which she doesn't live in that state that now prosecutes you if they can prove you lied about rape allegations is New York State.
About time.
That's the only one. They just started prosecuting people a few years ago. You're going to spend a few years in prison if they can prove you lied.
They needed to do that for a long time because the amount of, our community has gone through that. How often in the South? That was rampant. Those false accusations were rampant.
Yep.
So
I'm glad DeAndre said that because it reaffirms what he said. It's not that I have nothing against no race of people, but it tends to be that the women of that race like to keep a lot of crap started. That's why they got a lot of Becky and Karens. And again, I have white friends. I know I shouldn't say it like that, but
It's the
white
truth, though.
yep, white women came for black women when they said if they had a choice to be in a room alone, would they be with a white man or a white woman? They said a white man, and these white feminist females got mad. I'm like, y'all can't be trusted though.
They
'Cause
can't.
you either turn up your Karen and play victim afterwards, or you turn up your Becky and stay a victim. And I'm not saying all are like that because I know they're not. Mr. Dion.
Nah. See if I can get a hold of DeAndre.
All right, let me grab my blanket right quick.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else come in the YouTube chat?
Nah, I don't see anybody here.
That's weird because your subs are growing again, so I don't understand why people don't come to your lives.
Maybe they're scared. I don't know.
I like the one live that Nikki P came to. I love her vlogs too. I'd like to see her make more recipes.
I gotta get a hold of her. I've been delinquent.
For some reason, I think that all bomb lady does not like me, and I did nothing to her.
What makes you think that?
I don't know. It's just a weird feeling I got.
Really? That is odd.
Yeah. Now
I'm
you
trying to.
said something. Are you setting up still?
Well, I'm officially set up, but as you can see, I'm floating around.
Because you said something about wanting to discuss something I said in some videos.
Well, there's a few things because you came out you were storming in here, storming with the videos. You came out with one after another. You showered YouTube.
You called it.
Yeah, you did.
You cracked me
Yeah,
up.
this is better. And wow, okay, so one of them had to do with money. One of them had to do with money. I guess you're fed up. I guess you're fed up with
Oh, the PPP loan.
oh, that one too. That's another one. Woo! So yeah.
Oh.
Lord have mercy. So okay, so what was going on? It was during the shutdown, right? So it's during the shutdown, and you got these drivers are straight up arguing against me. These Dominican, they're mostly Dominican drivers, because I was on a Instagram channel that I have, and
your own people, yeah.
It'd be your own, because they know your strengths and your weaknesses, and they know where to attack and how to attack.
Right.
So I'm straight up trying to be helpful, letting people know what to expect, and they get all argumentative. They want to I don't know what they were thinking, but it wasn't positive. And some of them were like sticking their chest out like, what are you talking about? I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. Oh yeah, you doing real good? How you doing real good? The don't expect to be doing good for too long now. It turns out that these guys were getting these loans, these PPP loans.
Oh,
And then I start hearing about these dudes going back to Dominican Republic, buying property, setting up businesses, buying land and all this other stuff. I'm like, whoa, these dudes,
eh,
yeah, yeah. You see, and that got me upset because okay, you okay, some of them get political and talk junk, but see, as far as I'm concerned, you lost the right to talk junk when you accepted money from the government and you took that money and you didn't spend it because the whole purpose of putting money out into the population is so that they continue spending here. Because this is a consumer based economy. 70% of our economy relies on consumption. So you took money, taxpayer money, and you went abroad with it and spent it over there. So you didn't contribute to our economy with our money. And when I say our money, I'm talking about taxpayers.
yep.
But you went and took it somewhere else to another country, and you didn't go on vacation. You went and invested over there. I think that's foul. My family's from there and everything like that. But listen, what's right is right, as far as I'm concerned, and that wasn't right.
But it's going to be hard for the CIA and the FBI to get them, though, because they
Mm.
put, unless they get them while they're still on American soil. Had they
Oh, they're
go,
still they're still here.
but see, oh, okay, I'm about to say because if people had fled to Europe with that money, then the CIA or FBI can get a hold of Interpol.
Interpol's in Dominican Republic,
Oh,
and
I
they're
didn't
not.
know that.
Yeah, and they're not over there. They're here. They're still here.
What I'm saying is my the moral of the story is that with those loans, you think you're getting by with something, and several federal agencies can be investigating you all at once. I didn't know it was that serious. I just thought maybe they would involve the FBI. No, it's the Securities and Exchange Commission, it's the Small Business Administration, it's the FBI. They will have several agencies at once. I saw where they was towing away some guy's little candy red Porsche. Why would you get
Federal
a
Trade Commission.
yeah, them too. That's the other one. It was the Federal Trade Commission. They're coming after people, and it won't be one agency. It'll be some. There's some law firm had it broken down by 2024 how many people they've prosecuted. The
They
lowest
already they already
20.
snatched up a few.
Yep, the lowest is 20K. They're letting y'all think you're getting by with this stuff, and they're building ironclad cases. That way, when they come after you,
You do not play with the Fed. The Fed has a 98% conviction rate.
that's the thing. It's over. I knew it was over 90. Some guy in the United States, American, owned a small trucking company and did that and misused that money for his small trucking company. Now he's serving Fed time.
Some of these truckers, they lie. They say they got X amount of trucks, X amount of employees when they don't have it. They get those fat, juicy checks. And depending on the type of loan it is, you're supposed to be paying for your employees.
Yep.
They wasn't paying for nothing.
I would not be letting myself go to prison for any of this, but one of the convictions was for $20,000. And I'm not the smartest person in the room, but 20 grand isn't that hard of a money to raise by yourself if you know what you're doing.
It's not.
This is how this is not, I'm not, evil ain't the right word. This is how naive most Americans are, that you thought that a loan means they giving you and you ain't gotta pay it back. Are y'all kidding me right now? That's why they call it a loan.
Yeah, they said they were going to forgive it. Good luck with that.
It doesn't matter who become president with our debt. They not gonna forgive all them loans. And you gotta consider who went behind your back and ratted you out and got receipts and you don't know that yet.
That's
Because
another element. That's
yep,
another element.
yep.
Is the snitch factor. They don't take the snitch factor into account.
It's not like how you and I grew up when you was younger. You know something can happen to you when you go snitching and running your mouth. Now snitching is glorified in this darn culture now.
Glorified, encouraged, all that
If a person think they can snitch on you to get out of doing fed time, they're gonna do that. This is
in a
common sense.
heartbeat.
In a
In a
heartbeat.
heartbeat.
Yep.
They will not hesitate.
They gonna let you rot in that jail while they go and live their life.
You are going to rot. Believe that, or you're going to have to become a snitch yourself.
Yep.
One
Because they,
thing or the other.
they're getting most people on wire fraud. I was shocked that it's that many. There was a law firm, I forgot which one, it can tell you in 2024 who all got convicted, and they can tell you which of the several agencies all at once were investigating.
That was probably the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Stop. You thought I didn't. I just don't think for most of them that no good lawyer gonna get them out of this.
No. No. Now with a conviction rate of 98%, you ain't getting out. All they're going to do is strike a deal. And the deal is you're going to have to snitch. Period.
Yep.
And if you ain't got nobody to give up, well, guess what? Your negotiation is about to fall apart, and looks like you're gonna be spending some time behind the slammer.
And fed time is fed time. They not gonna lower that time for you like they could in a normal court. That's what these people don't get. The federal government don't play with you. Like
They
you
don't
said,
play.
you have to do what 85% of that time,
85% is the minimum.
and 85% of 30 years is what?
Like 27 years.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the minimum. That's with good behavior.
Yep.
You could very easily go over that 30.
Yep.
Defending yourself in there, getting into fights. Yeah.
Yep.
Very easily get an extended stay. Absolutely. That's not a joke.
I just don't understand how normal people with no criminal record thought that this was okay. They gonna get y'all. I made that video as a cautionary tale because of people in the hood. They not playing with y'all with this stuff. Ain't gonna be no crying and no sob stories.
Well, the hood is one thing, and regular people outside of the hood is another. Regular people outside of the hood,
They took those loans too, though.
yeah, but they don't get to see law enforcement in action. They're the first to defend law enforcement when law enforcement does something wrong, because they don't really get to see law enforcement in action. They don't encounter law enforcement like we do in the hood. In the hood, we're constantly brushing with those people. And for example, in my hood, corruption with the cops was so pervasive that you could be under the illusion that you're not going to bump into that Serpico that's not going to take a handout, that's not going to take a bribe, and it's going to snatch you up and bring you in. But some of these guys in the hood, they're arrogant like that.
I'll say.
And before,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I shouldn't have cut you off. The one thing
you're
I
good.
can say about the United States Fed, because I work for it, when you owe them money, they don't care about your race and gender. They gonna come for you.
All they care about is that money.
Yep. It's not like the civilian world. And I keep telling people, If
No,
there's such thing as white privilege, it ain't gonna help you with the United States Fed. I'm telling you.
no, it's not going to help you with the Fed. You're absolutely right, and that's one of the things that some of these billionaires, I guess maybe their new money or whatever, like Elon, for example.
Yeah, what's wrong with him anyway?
Oh
Let
my
me just say,
God,
let me.
Elon! There's so much going on with Elon right now. I'll put it to you this way. I mean, I wouldn't make an outstanding effort to try to uh, prevent people from doing what they want. I would just inform them so that hopefully they'll make the right call. But
Right.
if anybody if anybody right now we're thinking about investing in Tesla, this is not a good time. It really isn't.
I always thought Tesla was a bandwagon people were jumping on.
It is. Oh my God. There are so many uh, accusations of fraud for such a long list of different things regarding Tesla. It is crazy. It is. There are professional investors equating Tesla with Enron right now.
Oh, that's not good. Enron was a mess.
They're equating Tesla with a modern day Enron.
Oh,
They owe, I think, who is it that they owe? One of these investment banks. He owes them big money for X, for that transaction he did with X when he bought it when it was he bought it when it was Twitter,
right.
before he changed the name. He bought it for a certain amount, and the value of that company plummeted, and he
You.
still owes,
Oh, wow.
and he owes big.
Wow.
Between Tesla, SpaceX, and X, he owes tons of money to governments like Qatar, Saudi Arabia. For Tesla, he owes like for in China. I mean, it's ridiculous. The amount of money he owes is ridiculous. This $54 billion pay for Tesla is still in the courts in Delaware.
Oh.
And the Delaware court, yeah. And the
Ooh.
Delaware courts are trying to tell him, bro, um, you got shareholders that are suing you, saying that that pay you're supposed to be getting or got, it ain't justified. So he might have to pay that back if he has it. I'm not sure what the status was with that, but that's in contention. Um, he got this beef going on in Brazil over X. Brazilian Supreme Court judge said, and I think they already blocked X because that the ultimatum was for him to either block certain pages or certain certain
Right.
um yeah, he was supposed to eliminate certain posts or kick rocks, get out of Brazil. And he's defending his First Amendment rights. Buddy, you're not in the United States.
Yeah, dummy.
You're
Them
not
people
this
don't
is
care.
yeah, you're in Brazil.
That economy
They
is growing there. Them folk ain't. Yeah, them folk work on a whole different system of rules than we do.
yeah. So homeboy, he's trying to fight. He's uh he's disregarding orders from the court. And the judge ain't having it. The judge said, "Look, you have your platform putting out tons of misinformation. We ain't trying to have that. In 2022, all this misinformation and all your right wing uh, influencers on your platform, they impacted our elections. We ain't doing that."
He has to
So
be careful. Yeah.
well, if you say that, are you about to mention what's going on in the UK with X and the riots?
That's been concerning me because the difference between us and Europe, because these riots are happening in Ireland too. In Ireland, you got the IRA. I shouldn't
Yep.
say this, but there's a person that's Irish living here in the States.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Professor. Oh my God.
What happened?
Hey y'all, this DeAndre, he showed up, man. He said, "Hey y'all, I wanted to drop in and chat and say hello. I'm feeling a little under the weather, and I'm out on town on vacation. Wanted to say hello, and I'll be chatting from here if it's okay." Yeah, it's okay, man.
So while
The,
he's logging on,
mm-hmm.
I was told, and I won't say names and the circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
that a couple of years ago before COVID, an Irish woman here in the state of Washington told me,
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't tell you this, but it's not hitting the national news here. But every time they try to build the foundation of an Islamic mosque, the IRA is getting gangster and going in there and blowing it up.
Woo! The IRA ain't nothing to mess with either.
Sure ain't. I try to stay on their good side. And here's my thing. The moral of the story is what you're seeing now has been building up in the UK, Ireland, and there's some other European country where these riots are happening. Germany, I think it is. Because some white female German
Or
politicians,
France.
France and Germany. Some white female German politician before COVID said that white people are becoming the minority in that country, and that's a good thing. I'm like, but you're are a predominantly white country. Why would you say that somebody else taking over your country is a good thing?
Yeah, that's
I saw that video. That was stupid. I'm like, okay. But my point is that if that starts happening in the United States, because you know what's happening in Aurora, Colorado right now, right, Mr. Burns? Because you froze on me.
sorry about that. Yeah.
You know what's happening in Aurora, Colorado, which is going to set it off in the United States, right?
In Aurora. Oh, with the Venezuelans taking over apartments and whatnot, buildings.
Now they're talking about they may have to bring some agents in to make them move. I see your steering wheel, but not your face. That's funny. Okay, there you go.
Sorry.
I don't blame the Venezuelans for that. I blame the United States for not checking that mess. But the thing is, they're intimidating residents in that apartment that can't leave to pay them more
To pay
money.
rent. Look, that's okay.
But Maduro said they can't come back to Venezuela, so where the heck they gonna go?
Cuba did that too.
But the
Cuba did
United
that when
yeah,
in the 80s.
yep, the United States is gangster though. I don't think the United States cares about Maduro's and
No, they don't.
he's over there starving people too.
Yeah, he is.
So my answer to your question about the European riots is that although I hate that that's happening, I saw it coming years ago when that Irish woman told me, because she was giving me a warning about that. Number two, I just don't want it to come to the United States, but we got a Second Amendment and some stuff going. It's just gonna get ugly out here.
Look, that situation that situation in Aurora, that could be handled in an instant.
I agree. That's why I think it seems staged to me. They're not American citizens. And regardless if they were or weren't, you're gonna tell me that they couldn't have sent federal agents in to take care of that?
In
They
an
couldn't
instant.
in an
You don't
instant.
even need
Why?
you don't even need the federal. All you need is even the town of Aurora could start snatching them up as they go out. They got to go out and buy something to eat. Start snatching them up as they go out.
That's what I'm saying. Get them little by little at a time, and by the time they notice it, then go off in there and clean it up.
Yeah, snatch their butt up, take them into custody, do what they did in El Salvador. Bukele built a super prison, super huge prison. We don't need a super huge one for these dudes, but create a detention facility, whatever. Bro, you staying here. What do you think you're doing? Nah. That's private property. Somebody bought that with cash money, and you running up in there like what? Who you supposed to be?
Yep.
Nah. Get out of here. You want to live free? Okay, no problem. We got a spot. We got a spot for you. We got a spot for you. And put them in a detention center.
Yeah.
Oh, why? We want to go outside and nah, brother, you ain't going outside. You committed a crime.
I don't mean to be mean because I've been monitoring the situation by a white guy living in New York City named Cash Jordan. And it's been some
Who's
other people.
uh-huh.
Uh
I don't think I
they
know who that is.
the Venezuelans are accounting for a extreme amount of robberies and grapes in that city.
Where? In
NYC,
Aurora?
NYC.
Oh, in New York?
They're even openly attacking cops in that city. They're starting to become the group committing the most crime.
Well, tell you what.
NYC has its issues, so I have to be careful of how I approach that subject.
Well, I could tell you about NYC. I'm from NYC, and I could tell you, um, you know, they those Venezuelans in NYC know who to mess with. Because you can't just go anywhere in NYC and mess with anybody. That ain't gonna work.
Oh, they learned that the hard way when one tried to harm a girl and the other neighborhood Latinos locked their butt down.
Yes, you can't just go anywhere in New York.
And then when I saw that, I said, they're teaching these dudes a lesson, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, they. Hey. Yes, they will. They don't play that. They're gonna have to if they're gonna stay there and keep doing all that nonsense. They're gonna have to form their own gang.
Yep.
So they're always gonna be looking over their shoulder, and they're gonna be places they just can't go because they're gonna get smoked.
Yep.
That's just the reality of New York City.
It is. That's why I've always said if I visit that city, I'm just gonna mind my business and respect folk. You know what's gonna happen to you in New York, and to some small degree, Chicago. Don't go talking that mess.
No, you don't go popping off like what? No.
Remember when the Ukrainians were gonna come as refugees to the U.S. and they tried to warn Black Americans in Chicago? The Ukrainians have a tendency to drop the N-word a lot. I'm like, you really think Black people in Chicago are gonna be scared of some foreign white people? No, they just gonna do the no snitch and take care of you, and then that's gonna be it. I'm not saying I condone that. I'm just telling you
No, that's the reality.
reality. You don't want to be found floating in Lake Superior, do you? Better knock that off. They don't play in Chicago.
Of course not. Of course not. They'll settle that. I went to a trucking company in Chicago, and I got picked up by an Uber at the airport. No, it wasn't the airport. It was the bus station. The young lady driving the Uber, she was packing in Chicago. Yeah. And like it was nothing. And Okay, that's how we're rolling out here.
Yep.
New York City, you can't have a gun. The only way you can have a gun, and I think it has to be concealed, you have to prove that you have a business and that you're transporting X amount of money on a regular basis. That's the
He,
only way you can get a gun in New York. But to get
that's
a
what.
gun, oh, yeah,
Yep. He got me laughing, DeAndre. They ain't. Yeah, he ain't. Them folk in Chicago ain't scared of no racists from no other country.
hell no.
What you gonna give us that black people that warning in the United States in a country that's their country for? And think somebody's supposed to care about some people dropping an N word? Go ahead and mess around and find out.
Be my guest.
I'm black and I'm not from Chicago nor NYC and I know better. Okay, that's how this is, boo boo. Okay, you're right, boo boo. And that's the end of
Yeah,
the conversation. Yeah.
yeah. You know, you better warn them. Don't warn
Yeah.
us.
Don't
Warn
warn
them.
you better warn them about how we get down, how they get down in Chicago.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing to tell us. Shit,
Yep.
we do this on the regular.
DeAndre, I was telling Mr. Burns how I missed your one live about that white woman that set up them two black guys after she had a threesome with them. And it reiterates what you say about certain types of people, why you don't date them.
Yeah, you gotta leave them alone, man.
Remember,
You
Cat
got
Williams said that on that Club Shay Shay video. He said he ain't got nothing against them, but he wouldn't date one for that reason.
as a cab driver in New York City, I was invited a couple of times, and I straight up turned them down. There's no way.
Because they'll
Uh,
fetishize you, then say you raped them.
yes, they will. Yes, they will. All of a sudden, they'll ask you for something, and you can't provide them with that, and here come the threats.
Yep.
And then the crocodile tears, the screaming, the crying. Oh hell no! I'm good. I'm good. I'm all set with that.
Like that black guy who had a white wife and she got mad and called the cops and then he went to other black people on YouTube pleading for sympathy. My white wife is like, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I think you knew that woman was crazy, regardless of her skin color. And you coming back to us telling us how she putting false allegations against you.
Yeah. Never mind all that.
Yep.
You knew the deal, and that was one of the things in your videos also about people getting themselves jammed up in things and not taking accountability for their decisions.
Like I brought that up in some video, yep, because I don't remember which one. We all do some dumb stuff when we young, but you gotta take accountability for the fact that you did. I'm trying to figure which video. Oh, that one about student loans.
Student loans, yeah, okay. Student loans, okay. The Biden administration made an attempt to try to uh, wipe out those loans or wipe out a portion of those. Sorry, of those loans, but I me personally, well, that well, if it's a government issued loan, that's money that won't go back to the government. But for those private banks, they're the ones that would get hurt. But no, I don't think those student loans should be forgiven. I don't think so.
Nope.
Look, what did you go to college for? I mean, I've heard it. I've heard it from my professors, encouraging people to go to college, and the way they approached it was as if it was an investment toward your future. Well, guess what? Investments do not have guaranteed returns.
I should have said it like that. That's bars right there. You are guaranteed nothing in life. I got degrees in history and I don't even work in that field.
Yeah, there's no guarantee. Look at all these industries that you think when you go sign up for courses in at a university right now, they're going to warn you about the potential loss or the potential uh, lack of humans that they'll need for certain subjects.
Of course not.
They're not going to tell you. They want that money. No, come on board. Get your degree. A degree for what? Do I really need you? Okay, you want a degree in accounting? Cool. Guess what? AI is going to be taking care of accounting. What now?
Yep.
There are so many fields that AI will be interrupting. It's unbelievable. It's also unbelievable the types of fields that AI are going to be interrupting. They're already experimenting with the legal field, with an AI lawyer. Robotics, you got doctors in California performing surgery on people in Maryland through robotics.
That's why you have to go get the degrees to be the certificates to be the mechanics for those machines. That's how you're gonna reverse this. That's why I brought up that taco thing. DeAndre cracking me up, but he telling the truth though. We said that
Yeah.
already, DeAndre. She was on camera and she didn't seem like she was fearing for her life. And my thing is, she was the most mediocre looking woman you can come across. I'm like, y'all risk y'all's life for that. But anyway, like you were saying about AI, this is what I'm trying to tell Black Americans. Have you ever heard of a website called blackdemographics.com? I pay $1.99 a month membership.
Not familiar with it, no.
The point is that a good chunk of these service jobs that Black people have that are easy to get, like fast food,
Yeah.
we are highly represented in those jobs. And then I played that video about the Taco Bell and how they're even trying it at KFCs with AI over in Australia. A good chunk of the people on this planet, if they don't get it together in the next 5 years, are going to be in some severe mess. You think these professors going to tell you, and they know they making money off you, that your degree is useless? The answer is no.
Come on in, they tell you.
Yeah.
Invest in your future.
He said he did a video on it as well. Is he talking about the AI,
The one with the
or is he talking about the woman?
good question. Are you talking about the ones with that lady and the two black men? No, he didn't respond yet. Might be
So
typing away.
while he's doing that, the point about it is that they're firing off these warnings for y'all. You scared the crap out of me, but you woke my eyes up when you went into some fast food restaurant. I forgot which one, and all of those kiosks were standing there instead of a human to order.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So
That's it. What is he? Is it the woman then?
I think so.
Okay,
The
we'll
woman
just
and the
zoom
two.
that into. Okay, so when you play, it was a short clip you played. You might have been at a Burger King. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a short. It was a Burger King. Yep.
That's how quick they. Why would they need a cashier when now you all most everybody got credit cards, and some of the machines, I bet you can slide cash and it'll give you change.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
Yeah. What are they trying to tell you? What message?
you could pay. You could pay with your card. You could pay with your card and pay an exact amount with your card. Well, so I showed you all the cashier registers at the Burger King, but then I showed the cake machine.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I've heard the cake in there is absolutely nasty, though.
But there was one that I did at a Pilot truck stop in New Jersey. This was a hamburger machine. This was one that served hamburger. It would cook and prepare the hamburger inside the machine.
Yes, that's been around. They've been experimenting on that for like a decade now.
So, uh, if you want coffee, that exotic blend of coffee, that macchiato and all that other good stuff, they got machines that do that too.
That's why baristas are going to the wayside. Don't think Starbucks won't start introducing that in the next 2 to 5 years.
Absolutely. That sign that I showed was for the subway, short staffed.
Yep.
Okay, so guess what? It's time for some innovation, because whoever owns that business right there, they're not gonna let that business go under just because people don't want to show up to work.
Oh, that's what you were trying to say. It makes sense. But then
Oh
you're gonna
well,
say ain't no jobs. Oh my God, they making fun of
yeah,
it.
right, because on that short I put unemployment with a bunch of question marks, right?
Yep.
And you had brought that. That was another video you brought up.
This stuff is moving faster than I thought it was going to. But I hate
Mm-hmm.
this is one of those things where I really hate being right.
Yeah, you got to stop being right.
No, but I
You got to start
mean,
being wrong.
but when you showed that Burger King, that was like, oh my God, it's about to get stupid out here.
Amazon up around your way, Washington State,
Yeah, the
um,
headquarters, yeah.
with because Amazon bought out Whole Foods,
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
what were they doing in Whole Foods in Washington State? They were experimenting with some kind of some way of just purchasing your goods without even needing a cashier.
Yep.
I guess all you had to do, because I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm imagining that all you need was to open up the app, and I guess you scanned whatever item with your phone, or the carriage itself had some kind of sensors. So whatever you tossed in your sensor, your app would register it, and when you exit, out your bank account it goes.
Yep.
No need for cashiers. So how many people are being displaced by that technology?
And they're getting rid.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
oh!
You funny.
Why did you duck?
Yeah, I was like, oh, what I do?
Look out!
Like,
Oh, this. So I went to one of the warehouses that I used to haul out of when I first started trucking,
right?
and that warehouse was active. It was jumping. It was bumping. It was outside and inside. You had selectors on the inside, moving at a high rate of speed, selecting, grabbing. You have these forklifts grabbing, these high lows grabbing, bringing down pallets, putting up. I mean, it was crazy in there. All right, it was crazy in there. There was so much movement. There was so many accidents. It was just you had selectors with their own music boxes on their um on their machines. It was a madhouse. Outside, you had the yard horse. You had 4 yard horses on the move, constantly pulling trailers out of door, replacing them with other trailers back and forth over to this side of the yard, that side of the yard. Constant movement. I go over there now, ghost town. I went inside the warehouse, ghost town. So much of what they got going on in there is automated. So you don't see that many human beings running around anymore. I want to say it was an uncomfortable feeling.
My dad brought up that he worked for a company. I won't say their name. And years ago, back in the 80s, when he worked for them before they fired him in the late 80s, early 90s, they had 100 more people there.
Oh,
Then he told me, because of this AI, that company has now shrunk that thing to like 10 and under people
their workforce. Yep.
because the owner is about to pass away, I think. Anyway, he real sick now, much older and real sick.
Yep.
And they don't know if that company's gonna go past him anyway. But now, imagine going from almost a couple of hundred to 10 people.
That's what I'm saying. That's what that warehouse looked like where I used to work. I'm telling you, they used to be all 3 shifts were banging. All 3 shifts were loaded with people, bunches of people in and out. Driving those pallet jacks. Driving those pallet jacks up and down, sideways, doing somersaults on them, music banging, people everywhere, people high as kites. People were on uppers, they were on pills, they were sniffing all kinds of crazy stuff. It was a madhouse. Not anymore.
Because when you keep complaining, the difference between a human and a machine is that if you expect the machine to break down, you just need mechanics to come fix it. Whereas a human has medical, dental, vision, freaking sick days, have excuses, just don't show up. A human has more excuses than a machine does.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned in other videos, the machines don't get sick. They don't get sick. They don't need a vacation. They don't need anything.
Nope.
So why wouldn't a owner of a company not want to replace a human being in a heartbeat?
Yep.
They don't have to deal with excuses. They don't have to deal with complaints. They don't have to deal with anything.
What I don't get about black people is that they get on these here apps. Just like in one of the Tyrese videos, I think I put up some red balloons to represent that stupid red balloon thing that's happening now.
Yep.
Y'all are spending too much time being entertained, and while you're being entertained, the world around you is changing.
Oh, everybody's so distracted. It's incredible.
Yep. I can't blame just our community, just black people. A whole lot of people distracted. And when
every community.
And when you try to tell people like, I don't want to go back to school and get no certificate, then starve in the future, then boo boo.
That's what's gonna happen. They are gonna starve.
Yeah, I said when I saw all these mass evictions, you got people can't get jobs. Even in the tech industry, lots of people getting laid off and getting online crying. I said, if you ever want another job, do you understand that if you get on this line talking bad about your employee, excuse my burp, know what's going to happen? They're going to see you as a liability.
Yes, they are.
Because now you put your face out there. Don't think these people don't check your social media. And I think,
are you kidding me?
Yeah, they check your social media. Don't get it twisted. That's why I'm careful about what I say. I can't be exactly fired for talking about Black history because it has nothing to do with my job.
I came up with this name to protect myself against one of my employers.
I thought you came up with Solomon Project because Solomon was wise in the Bible.
No, I'm talking about Richard Burns.
Oh, okay.
To protect myself against one of my employers because that's exactly what they were doing. They were going into everybody's social media account and tapping into whatever they had, whatever complaints they had to say. They were checking to see if they were creating any content that had company logo on it, anything like that.
Oh, yeah, that's common sense. I tell people, like I told you, I work for the Fed. Notice I don't tell you what agency I work for.
Nope.
Notice I told you what.
Even though I already know which one it is.
I imagine you do know, but
yeah.
Because the
Yep.
Fed, you're harder to fire. If a good lawyer would say, well, she only talks about black community things. It has nothing to do with her job. Just
Right.
don't
Got
ever,
nothing.
nothing. Just don't ever use their logo. And my question is, when you leave a job, why are you that fixated on it anyway? Who wants to talk about their job outside of work? I find that sus anyway.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, if you own the business, I can see that because you're passionate about growing it. But when you work for somebody, it ain't that serious. I'm gonna go get my check and go home. Screw this. Work and collect that check and go home.
Especially if you have to work up with coworkers and all their different personalities, and some of them are just nasty, and some of them are just trying to step all over you to get ahead. Um,
Yep.
I don't want to. I don't want to deal with that.
They know it my job, and it's not that I'm mean. It's just that I'm not taking that trash home with me. And it's nothing against any individual person. Just like a lot of people ain't been to my house and won't come to my house.
I know
I
exactly what you mean.
This is what I like about the federal government. See, in the civilian world, I can be easily fired for saying this. And the Fed, no, because I show up and do my job.
Exactly. Oh, that's another one of the. Oh goodness, man! I'm telling you, yo, Elon,
You on Elon, you funny.
because of what you just said. You said about not getting fired. Yo, Elon was firing people left, right, and center just because.
And he can. Is Texas a at will state?
And then that's another thing, right? So he's crying and complaining about California. So he moved X over to Texas, and he's getting sued in Texas because he owes big money over there already. And
Yeah, I heard about the lawsuit. I didn't know what he did. I just know that state is suing.
because he ain't paying up contractors in the contractors that built up the land for X. I don't even think it's complete yet.
Ew.
I got to look back into that. Yeah, he's gotten sued from a lot of ex employees for not getting paid.
Oh,
Yeah,
see, you
I'm
can't
telling you.
not. Yeah, you can't not pay people. That's a whole different monster right there. Have you
I'm
heard of
telling you
these
right now.
jobs? Speaking of, have you heard of these new jobs that are posting now that say they're not going to pay you right away, that it is a trial basis? And some people's like, yeah, that's called an internship. No, an internship and a job are two different things, boo boo.
Yes, they are
They
very
can get,
different.
because of automation, they can get by with treating you like that now. I keep telling
Man,
people,
listen.
y'all don't have the clout that you think you have. I think Elon does deserve to be sued. You can't decide you're not gonna pay people for services rendered, for labor rendered. You can't do that.
So he's got some people on X that he kicked out of X because they criticized him. But he's in Brazil telling the Brazilian judge, you can't tell me what to do with X because of freedom of speech. So he's crying about freedom of speech out in Brazil, but over here, there ain't no real freedom of speech because he kicks people out at random when they got something to say about him. It's a
Elon Musk
tremendous hypocrite.
Elon Musk is a spoiled brat inside of a grown man's body. That's the best way to describe that guy.
Yeah, he might be losing his fortune soon. What they're saying, uh, some billionaires from Silicon Valley, one of them happens to be uh, a co-founder of Facebook.
Oh wow.
And he's and I, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's one of the people that are suing him. I could be wrong, but he's got like a mountain of accusations of fraud from so many different levels. I think he's the one going out telling everybody that his fortune was built on nothing but fraud.
Oh.
Yeah. The nonsense that has gone on in Tesla, fraud. He's been performing fraud. His cars are not performing the way they're supposed to perform. That whatever selection that is for automated driving or whatever that's called, fraud. It's a list. The list. He's been lying to shareholders.
I believe it.
So there's accounting fraud. I'm telling you, it's a list. It's a long list. It's ridiculous. And it looks like his days are numbered. It really does.
Yep, because when those people want their money, they want their money.
Shareholders have recently lost, I think it's something like 45% they've lost. Sales have been going down consistently for the past 3 or 4 quarters.
Oh wait. He's in some deep trouble then.
Yeah. Oh, here's another thing somebody brought up. He's talking all this jazz against the Brazilian Supreme Court judge about freedom of speech, but you never hear him. You never hear him bad mouthing the Chinese, and he's out in China. You never hear him talk bad about, and they don't. You ain't got no freedom of speech in China,
You sure
but you don't hear
don't?
him complaining about that. Yeah, and you don't hear him complaining about that, not once. And that's another thing he's got going on. You know,
Them folks are
see,
sneaking across the border over here to be able to say what they want to say. There's
you're
a
in the
reason.
Fed.
Yep.
You're in the Fed, so I'm going to ask you this. This man set up shop in China, so he's got his Tesla Gigafactory in China. So there's some technology that he's got to give up to the Chinese government, because that's how the
Oh,
Chinese get down.
yep. And then that's gonna
Do
get him
you?
in trouble with the United States.
I was about to ask you that. Do you think that the Intel community is keeping an eye on him?
They could be, who knows? I told you
Because
that stuff is all done in the dark. That's why a lot of these PPP loans, these people was being investigated and they didn't know it. You know, little people like me are low on the totem pole. They ain't gonna tell me nothing.
right, and I'm not even close to that totem pole, so I'm definitely not gonna be told anything. And no family member of mine is gonna um, put their security clearance in jeopardy just to tell me something.
Yep. That's what I like about being the lowest on the totem pole. I really know nothing.
And you're glad that you don't, huh?
Yep. Super glad.
Mm-hmm. The less you know, the better.
Yep. And I like it that way.
Can't nobody point fingers at you saying, maybe that one right there, maybe her. Maybe
I've
her
never,
what?
I've never understood people who worked for the Fed and let themselves get locked up for telling secrets. What that tells me is you're either greedy or you just couldn't let your job go past the working hours or both.
That's pretty wild.
I told you I have to write plans every single day for what I'm gonna do when I go back in the office because I data dump.
And your computer, I'm pretty sure, is monitored.
It is now, especially after during COVID. They done put in all kind of crazy stuff. They know when you logged on to that thing now.
And if it has a camera, you already know.
Yep. It has that. It has that too. Mine's is inoperable, but I mean, there's cameras on it. No, don't let it. Don't get it twisted. There's cameras there.
Yep.
People better quit playing this stuff. Stuff ain't no game. These folks are looking for a reason to fire you now. They ain't playing.
Nope. They want to replace you because they got a robot waiting in line.
Yep.
They done invested in the thing and they want to make sure.
Definitely.
I ain't playing with them.
That's why I said about these people complaining about fast food, y'all getting online, and then these people who lost tech jobs. See, when the new tech comes around and you get them certifications, it's going to hurt you because you were stupid enough to get online talking bad about your last company and showing your face. If you're going to do that and be brave about it, you have to be willing to die on that hill and accept that you may not get a job in that field anymore or may have to start a business. People think I'm mean. I'm trying to tell y'all there's a diminishing return to getting online, bad mouthing companies when they're firing you or sitting up there crying. You're going to look unstable.
Yep. Yep.
That's just how it
Look,
works.
what is it? What is it? Is it who's responsible for that? Who's responsible for shunning wisdom?
Oh, that's a
Who's
deep question.
Yeah, because okay, so what do you know about the modeling industry?
I wanted to get in it at one point, but that industry is another dirty industry with the yacht parties and the nasty stuff going on. People
Okay.
expose the net now. I think there's some dirty stuff going on behind the scenes there that's just absolutely nuts.
Okay, so I want to give a breakdown for all those who don't know why we have or why the modeling world requires skinny models.
Yeah, because I want to know. I've been wanting to know that one.
Here it is. There was what do you call those? A couple of runway shows,
Right?
a couple of runway modeling, whatever, and they conducted an experiment. The textile industry conducted an experiment because they wanted to increase their sales, their clothing, right?
Right.
Because, you know, these fashion shows are ways of promoting the new fashion, the new whatever. So they put on 2 shows. One show had regular women, curvaceous, voluptuous.
How you say
Tip.
voluptuous?
Yeah. Too much booty in the pants, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So It went as expected, as it always does. However, they decided they were going to experiment with these women who had no curves, flat as ironing boards,
Oh wow.
unappealing, physically unappealing.
I think I
So,
know why you brought this up, but go on right quick.
okay, so then if they're physically unappealing, what are they paying more attention to? The clothes.
Uh,
And then Twiggy was born.
yep. And even she's come out and admitted that that's unrealistic to expect women to always be that skinny because she's gained some weight ever since. And she said even she thinks that's unrealistic. See, people don't go and check their history and what people say.
Yeah. So can it be that Hollywood is responsible for promoting this, what's the word I'm looking for? This obsession with youthfulness
Yep.
to the point where wisdom from the older folks is being sacrificed.
Wow. That's deep. That's really deep.
Kind of crazy.
Yep, that's deep.
Everything, look, Puerto Rican society is all about youth and aesthetics. That's it. They are so hard with that. It is absolutely crazy. It's crazy is not the word I'm looking for. It's disappointing.
Yep.
It's disappointing. I like to dress my age when I do dress. I like to dress my age.
Me too.
I don't have I really don't concern myself a whole hell of a lot about my appearance. The only time I do is when I have an interview or a business meeting. That's it.
Right. Oh, okay.
And that's because I understand that you want to make sure that you don't drive up their defenses. Because if they see you a certain way, their defenses go up. Now you might have a problem securing a loan, securing a contract, securing a position. You might. Just for that. You don't know where their head is at. So if you want to secure a contract, a loan, whatever, you're going to want to stack the odds in your favor, so you dress the part,
Right.
But outside of that, one thing I don't like is to draw attention when I'm out in the street. I don't like to draw attention, so I don't like to wear wild colors. I don't like to wear messages on my shirt. None of that, because I don't want the attention. I want to be able to get in, get out, and just not have to get confronted with anything.
Yep, I don't anymore for that exact same reason. And I sometimes get dirty looks by other black women like, why is she so dressed down? And my thing is, why do you care? Who are you trying to impress? We're in the grocery store, boo boo.
Right.
You really think I want to come in here dressed like I'm about to walk a runway in a grocery store? No.
And I go a little beyond that as far as not combing my hair, not trimming my beard.
Yeah, I don't comb this fro sometimes. It be matted and nappy, and I do it on purpose, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not concerned about my own aesthetics, and I'm not concerned about anybody else's aesthetics either. Drives my wife crazy, by the way, because she wants to hear it. She wants to know, hey, am I still attractive to you or whatever? Um, and I just don't. Me, uh, I'm comfortable. I'm more comfortable seeing my wife however she looks like when she wakes up. I'm comfortable with that. Very comfortable with that. Maybe because I was raised with my mom and my sisters, and I used to see them when they weren't combed up or dressed up or whatever the case is, and that's my comfort right there. I'm comfortable that way. Now when I come across, when I have to engage a woman that's all made up, all permanently pressed with all the uh, I don't get the same reaction that most men get, or whatever I hear from most men. I become defensive because I see that as a ploy to try to manipulate me. So I immediately go into defense mode when I'm in the presence of a woman who's all made up with her makeup and all this other stuff. Because
It's pretentious. You don't know what you're getting for real.
yeah, like I said, you know, since I was a child, I'm waking up. There's my mom. She just finished waking up. My sisters just finished waking up. This is a loving environment. Okay. This is a loving environment, a secure environment. My guard is all the way down, and I have these women in my presence in their natural state. So that's my comfort zone, and that's perhaps why bad body built guy. Exactly, D. Exactly. I don't. So, and that's carry. Can I say that Hollywood didn't didn't get to change me in that regard? Hollywood did not conquer uh, or didn't replace my perception of the women around me. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Most of them folk are fake. We're finding out. Just like J Lo, still trying to act like it's no big deal of the mess she been going through. You a little too old
Yeah.
for that now.
Oh, and it's very apparent.
Yep.
It's
You
very
sit
apparent.
up here and your husband don't want you. You go on vacation overseas and you're seen on a yacht taking selfies of your ass. You're very disconnected at this point. I'm younger than you, and I don't go acting like that.
Right. That's desperation.
And that's why there you go. And that type of woman will never see it. And somebody brought up something profound about J Lo. She's not the kind of woman that can go without being with a man or putting up to act like she can get a man for long. It's the way she does it. Because there's nothing wrong with wanting companionship. There's everything wrong with how she goes about doing stuff.
Right.
Her concerts stopped selling. I'm like, sweetheart, you're past your prime on that now. You should have
Yeah,
been moved on.
you're done.
You're done. There's nothing wrong with that. You should have been preparing for that day. Somebody younger gonna always come behind you.
Always.
Always. You should have lined yourself up past your youth and past your looks. I got over that by the time I hit 30.
Yep.
That was 2010. You still up on that.
Yep. Well, you're a realist.
Just like Lady Gaga, she been done too. I don't care what nobody says. Gaga
Yeah.
was done for like 5 years, and I know that comes across as crass, but she been done since before the pandemic.
Look at Madonna. Madonna
Oh,
is
she been gone. Good night, her. Oof.
um when was she declared dead? I don't
That's what I'm saying.
she she did not age well at all. She did not accept her age.
Nope.
And she looks horrendous.
Oh, in the face right now. Yep.
She looks horrendous.
See, these people get this party lifestyle in them in their 20s and don't. Oh, I'm gonna show y'all that ain't nothing to age, and I'm gonna still be out here partying. I'm like, when I hit third, but I quit going to the club at 22 years old. Okay, and regret doing that the 4 to 5 times I went. If you still doing that when you 50, 60, most of the time, unless you get Jesus, you ain't gonna get no redemption. Because yeah, I mean, sweetheart, your 20s happened for you in the 1980s. Those days are gone.
Gone.
Gone. You gotta accept that and quit acting like it's anything more than that.
Now here I am making reference to her appearance when I said I'm not into that, but I made reference because she's trying to make an effort to not look that way, but she's missing it big time. And like you said, the 80s been passed.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Just like the early 2000s are gone and J Lo's time is gone. These women and their desperation just never ceases to amaze me. You made all the millions. If you're still out here doing that when you 50 to 70, what that tells me, you looking at something real intense. I mean, you are in Nashville. Is there a storm out there?
Yes, there is. Matter of
Okay.
fact, um, this truck is weighing 75,000 pounds, and it was getting blown about.
Oh,
Yeah, I came down through Chattanooga. I came down your way. I came down through I-24.
oh,
So
okay.
you know that there's that little piece of Georgia. Oh no, yeah, is it Georgia? Yeah, a little piece of Georgia that you encounter coming down 24, and then you're back in Tennessee. So I'm in Tennessee right now. No, I didn't hit that spot yet, where that little piece of Georgia goes through. So maybe 100 miles from Chattanooga. Maybe no, I passed. I'm headed south or east or west, whatever it is, on 24, and I'm past Nashville. I'm in between Nashville and Chattanooga, not far from your part of town.
I'm considering flying in through Nashville when I go see my dad in
Oh, you
October.
haven't gone to see him yet? Oh, it's in
Nope.
October. Okay.
Yeah. Because as much as I don't want to do that drive from Nashville, at the same time, Huntsville International Airport is notorious for canceling people's flights last minute.
Oh, why do they do that? Is it because of the weather?
That's what they claim.
Okay.
But because
You gonna go?
Huntsville is one of the fastest growing cities, they better start figuring out this stuff with their airport real quick.
Yeah, Huntsville. I was impressed the first time I drove through Huntsville because my wife has an alumni that lives in Huntsville,
Oh,
and I drove through there. Did I stop and meet these people? I don't even remember if I stopped to meet them. But I was impressed with Huntsville. I thought Huntsville was gonna be smaller, but they got industry out there. That ain't no
oh yeah.
joke.
Yep. The U.S. Space and Rocket Center.
Yeah.
DeAndre got jokes tonight cracking on people. I thought maybe I thought maybe when you was talking about models before I get on Tyrese, you were referring to that stupid South African young woman who went to the.
Oh, please. Make
I,
me hotter. Make me sweat. That one? That
oh,
singer?
talking
That
about
young girl?
Tyler. I don't care for
Yeah.
Tyler either. I'm talking about the white one that took her butt to Guyana and then put up a social media post talking about she's literally the prettiest woman in the country.
Oh my God.
No,
Oh
what's
my God.
funny is what was real messed up is that she follows up by saying, "Well, this is a growing country because of their oil money, sweetheart. You are a white South African. You didn't. Don't go look. I mean, her lips are bigger than my face." And she will talk. And then some black guy got on and said, I'm gonna tell you the truth about the Caribbean, sweetheart. We don't like them skinny women. We prefer ours thick with a little more something," he was saying. She sat there
Yeah.
and just got to that country talking about some. I'm literally the hottest person. And right before I got on your live, I saw somebody post some hard evidence.
Yeah.
She was on a
Hey,
plane on her way back.
good night,
Oh,
DeAndre, man. Thank you for coming in, man.
good night. Hope you feel better.
What was that you were saying, Professor?
Why would you get your stupid butt online in somebody else's country and say that you look better than all
Somebody
the women?
else's country. What the hell are you doing?
Go on. Yeah. Then she tried to do a groveling apology, but it didn't work. I was told that the way it was said is that she was requested to leave Guyana. And then she said, don't get Guyana mixed up with Ghana. Duh, everybody knows Ghana's in Africa and Guyana's in South Africa. South
Okay.
America, I mean. All right.
All right, D. Yeah, okay, so we're illiterate now.
We're dumb now. We don't know geography. But because you're a skinny white girl, you know so much more than we do. Well, I didn't mean, yeah, you meant to be offensive because Guyana only has under 1 million people. So you thought that your whiteness and your straight hair carried clout in that country because Great Britain had that country as a colony for a while. So you thought you was gonna pull that off. And they came back and they came back and hurt your feelings real quick. Sweetheart, news travels, okay?
There's the
Oh,
internet now.
and the problem is, again, it's not that whole race of people, but a lot of women
No.
that are skinny, tall, and white and young, those four things, think they can just say what they want. But like that black Caribbean guy told her, having those qualities don't mean nothing to a Caribbean man who likes his women thick.
He likes some meat on those bones.
So, yep. The way she said, like literally, like I am like the prettiest person in the country. I'm not, and I'm not even tooting my own horn.
That's because you're so skinny you ain't got a horn.
I try to extend
What?
I try to extend grace to people, but because she followed up and doubled down with that whole oil money, she makes it look like that white people. I'm not here to try to colonize. Now, why would you say that?
Colonize?
Yes, that's what
Girl,
she
you know
said.
what?
She said, I'm not here to try to colonize. I'm like, just go back.
Hold on, girl. We're gonna call you Uber, and you ain't got to pay for it, okay? Where am I
Yep.
going? Don't worry about it. We got you.
Yep.
Hey, what's this? This is the airport. This is where you landed. Guess what? You're taking off right the hell now. You're out of here. What do you? Get out of here. But I'm pretty. Yeah, pretty dumb. Get out of here.
Go to somebody else's country, tell them you prettier than their women. What rock are
What the
you
hell?
smoking? What's wrong with you? What rock are you smoking?
Boy, you got a pair.
That's what I call audacity at its finest. Then she looked like her lips got all those fillers and stuff. She thought that by being a skinny white woman, she was gonna have it easy street in Guyana. Or Guyana. They say it two different ways. Some people say Guyana, some say Guyana. I say Guyana. And
I say both until
yep.
somebody tells me not to.
Yep. You really thought you was gonna take your butt to the Caribbean, to South America,
Right.
and you gonna pull what works in South Africa because you can get by with that. Then I have to remind myself apartheid ended less than 30 years ago in that country.
Yeah,
So some
it
of
sure
them,
did.
yeah, so some of them people still have them proclivities and think they can clap out their mouth certain things.
Elon.
Yep. I keep telling people that dude was born in apartheid South Africa, so nothing he says, you're a product of your environment, okay?
His grandfather left the U.S. to go start a plantation there, literally a plantation, with
Yep.
all the negative connotations associated with that word.
Yep. Y'all up here calling this guy a genius and kissing his butt. You had no idea what you was dealing with.
Genius. That dude ain't no genius. He ain't got no real credentials.
I know when you said you wanted to talk to me, I thought you was gonna get on to me about them Tyrese videos I made.
Well, you made so many, I forgot which one to tap into.
Well,
But
first,
Tyrese,
yeah,
I've been following the Tyrese thing because he got stepped on.
but he wasn't lying about a lot of it though. Don't get me wrong, he steps
Oh
in.
yeah.
He puts his foot in his mouth sometimes, but he wasn't lying about what he said on that Club Shay Shay. There was two
No.
videos of Tyrese. The first Tyrese video is when he admitted that his mama used to have him and his brother act like that they had mental faculties to get money from the government. That's hood
Yeah,
behavior. Yep. Number
that is
two,
hood.
Number two is when he said we're all jealous and don't look out for each other. And he wasn't telling no lie on that. That gets old with Black Americans. It does.
That is a sad reality.
And you can't blame everything on white people. That's the thing that I'm getting mad about. And then I brought up the example of Shankila Robinson.
Shankila Robinson.
Okay, remember, she's the black girl that went to Mexico with some of her friends that were black.
Oh my God! They beat her ass, didn't they? And then they killed her?
Yeah, they severed her spinal cord. Mexico wants them extradited from the United States, and the United States won't send them clowns back. As black as they are, most of them, even the black community in the country, is saying send they butt to Mexico for what they did to that woman.
Absolutely. Justice. Let's get some justice.
Justice, let's go. Why has it been taking 2 years? You extradite them back. They knew as black people in the United States, had they unalived her on American soil, the way justice works here, they was about
It would have been a wrap.
It'd been a wrap. So they did it in Mexico, hurried up, came back to the U.S. and to avoid Mexican prison. But no, go on and send their butts down there. Because your stupid butts filmed it too.
They deserve it.
That's what I said. Y'all know better than that.
There was no justifiable reason for them to do what they did to that girl. None.
I believe they planned it all along to humiliate her. Now, the planning to unalive her, I don't know about that, but they planned to make her look stupid because she had started getting advanced degrees and they didn't ever want her to leave the hood, and it was a jealousy thing.
Was it Mississippi or Alabama where something similar happened? I mean, the girl was kind of ratchet.
Oh, that's the one that they. Oh, that was Alabama. They took her to that apartment complex, and they all raped her and assaulted her. Then tossed her body in the woods somewhere under a mattress. I forgot about her. I can't even think of that young woman's name.
That was crazy. And that knucklehead, what a knucklehead. She even said it. Was she recording herself? She said something to the effect of, um, they're probably going to come ask me questions or stop me or something.
Yep.
Unbelievable. I shouldn't be surprised because that kind of stuff was going on all the time in the hood where I grew up. But the difference is I never knew the details. But in this case, the details were spoken of. See, I never knew the backstories of people getting stabbed and shot and all this other crazy stuff in the hood because, you minded your own business. But man, for what they did to this girl.
That's the thing I'm tripping on. There was a time when you did that type stuff in the hood. You didn't take that, and you knew to be quiet about it.
Well, there was no
These
social media back when I grew up.
Me either, really, until the early 90s. Well, no, social media started with MySpace. That was 2004.
Yeah, see, that's way past my time.
That's past. I was 24 years old. When we was kids, cameras were just becoming a thing, but they were still great. These people are literally self-snitching now. I'm going to take this
Self-snitching.
Self-snitching. Yep.
There's an attorney out of Minnesota. He's got a YouTube channel. Bruce Rivers.
Yep.
How does it go? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do, he's something about self-snitching.
Oh, wow.
That's his specialty on his channel. So many people are self-snitching. It's incredible. Making the authorities' job so easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's disgusting what they did.
It's been said long time ago that law enforcement will go check people's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, now TikTok. Y'all sitting up here doing stupid stuff. And because now because you did it online and there's the tape, the prosecutor gonna eat you alive. Because how you gonna say it's not you?
Right.
And
I'm the only one that wears those earrings, and no, it wasn't me.
And not only that, those tapes get turned over by different witnesses getting you at different angles. So now it's so many of it that you can't say it ain't you.
Can't. What was that? Julio Fulio, the rapper?
Yep, I think it is. I've heard of that name. I don't know what happened, but I heard something about him recently.
The cops got all of them. All of them.
That's going to be some RICO right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
These see, this law enforcement ain't playing with these people. This PP loans, and just like I told you, how all the people from the hood like to go do those flash mobs and go rob stores and stuff. They're gonna start treating those robberies, and this is my theory, like RICO. Don't think somebody that ain't gone and snitched on you already.
And the authorities, what they'll do is sometimes they'll know exactly who they're looking for, and they'll just let them rock.
Yep.
Because they want to see who else they'll lead them to.
And that's what they're doing, and that's what I believe.
Yep.
It's all a matter of who gonna snitch out the other ones first.
Give them rope.
Rope. Yep. People think
Give
this
them
stuff
rope.
because everybody's like, well, in NYC, because I was saying about Cash Jordan, and they're like, well, why are these people not getting locked up? Because see, the NYPD is behind the scenes building cases. That's why.
Yes, they are.
Trust and believe they're going to get you at an unexpected time. They're going to get you coming out of a movie theater. They're going to get you at a wedding. They're going to get you after you came back from a foreign country traveling. They're going to get you at somebody's funeral. They're going to get you in a park in the middle of the day in plain clothes to come sit by you and act like they're having a conversation. Why don't y'all connect these dots? It's going to be so clean, you ain't going to have time to contact people to let them know. You think they don't know where your common hot spots are? Y'all are silly.
Well, I've seen when some of them get snatched up. It's amusing. It's amusing because you'll be walking and they'll be on both sides of wherever you're walking, and then all of a sudden they'll both come up on both sides of you, on either side, and just casually like walk right next to you and just grab your arms.
Yep.
and you're freaking out like, yo, what the? And they're telling you, hey, we're such and such agency. You're coming with us.
That's how they gonna get you. These people think, oh, they just gonna swoop in, so we gonna have many places to hide. How you know the person you hiding with ain't told them that you at their house?
Oh my goodness!
And didn't give them an extra key to go in there and get you. You really think these people going to prison for y'all as harsh as these sentences have gotten over the last 30 years? What rock are y'all smoking?
This happened back in the 90s, right? We're talking 93-ish, around there. 93-ish, 94-ish.
Right.
So I'm working at an office with this gentleman. He's got his attorney, who's a junkie. Literally a junkie.
Wow.
So the guy's daughter is studying law, and she happens to be studying the very cases that attorney, that junkie attorney, litigated.
Right.
So the guy, you know, he had clout in the judicial system there in New York. And I mean, to have your cases studied by law school students, I mean, that's pretty serious. But he lost it all. He lost his wife, lost his family, lost his home, lost his license, everything because of his addiction.
Oh wait.
And yeah, and he was working for the gentleman also. You know, he was giving him, I guess, legal advice and stuff like that. Or he was a consultant for him. And there was a guy that he raised, and his wife worked at the office also. Wife came in one day, hey, Pop, this is what happened. He's locked up. He's at the detention center in Brooklyn. There's a federal detention center in Brooklyn. And we used to call him Pops, right? We used to call the old guy Pops. So Pops went to find out what was going on. He went to the federal holding facility. And when he came back, he had told us that he wanted his friend to be on the visiting list so he can come visit him. And Pop said no. Pop was the kind of guy that didn't trust his own shadow.
Oh wow.
Okay? Yeah, Pops was like that. And from what his wife was saying, he got upset with Pops. Remember, he raised him. He got upset with Pops because he had asked him to put his friend on the visiting list, and Pop refused. Pop said he didn't trust him, and uh, he was angry at Pops for doing that. He told Pops, from what his wife said, he told Pops that, you know, he's sick of the distrust and all this other shit. He's taking it too far, blah blah blah, this that and the third. Because this is a guy he grew up with, right? His friend. He grew up with his friend. He grew up with. They went to Catholic school together.
Wow.
Yeah, they grew up. They grew up together. They're like brothers.
Wow.
And they got it. Yeah, they got it involved in a street enterprise. You know, without having to spell it out, you can guess what it is.
Yep.
Pharmaceuticals, right?
Right. We know what it is.
Right. And his friend, his childhood friend, decided to go to Florida, I think Miami, because the profit was much higher down there.
Oh.
Yeah. So he went down there to make more money. So you already know Mayman got a hold of him.
Oh wait.
Yep. Mayman got into his brain.
Mm-mm.
The dude went down there, and the dude came back and decided to visit and show off how well he was doing. So he showed up for this guy's birthday, and he gave him some lavish gifts. For the time, you know, the early 90s, early to mid 90s, you know, to have a cell phone was a really big deal. They were the size of bricks.
Yep, I remember that.
He gave him a brick.
Them bricks was ugly, but keep going.
He gave him one of them ugly bricks. Yeah, so he gave him an ugly brick. He gave him
yep.
the latest alphanumeric beeper. This was the hottest thing in beepers right now.
Yep.
Because you could send numbers and words. So this was it. Plus he gave him this fat gold chain with this fat medallion.
Wow.
He took him out on the town for a few days. They went out. They went to a variety of clubs. They went out to eat in different restaurants. Hung out with some of their old friends. They were chilling. This guy really came through. This guy really showed off. And yeah, and then after all that was said and done, one morning, like around 5 o'clock in the morning, boom, the feds come in, rush in, grab that girl's husband, snatch him up. That's how they do it. They usually come in 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, snatch you up, drag your ass out in your underwear, and take you in. Now he's in a holding facility. Now he's asking Pop to please put his friend on the visiting list. Pop is saying, no, I don't trust him. Homeboy's like, you know, you know, you're too much with this distrust thing, man. You really need to stop this. Can you please just put no? I'm not doing it. Bye. So the girl's husband gets brought into the counselor's office, right?
Right.
They call them counselors. They're the ones that make sure that your needs from the outside world are met as far as legal paperwork, lawyers. They check your visiting list, things like that.
Yep.
And they start asking him. They start interrogating him. Hey, why are you asking for this guy to come on your visitors list? Because that's my friend. That's my friend for life. Well, he can't go on your visiting list. Why not? He can't go on your visiting list, and that's it. But what's the big deal? Listen, you keep asking that, we're gonna put you in solitary, all right?
Oh wow.
All right, let it go. All right, let it go. All right. Now comes the interrogation from the feds. Okay, sir. So they run down a list of people that they ask him about. Do you know these people? Have you ever communicated with these people? What's your deal with these people? Nothing. I don't even know who these people are. What are you talking about? All right, cool. Uh, did you ever meet with these people at this place? Well, first of all, I don't know these people, and I've never been to these places. You never been to these places? No. You ever go to this restaurant? No. How about this club? No. None of them? Nope. I don't hang out like that. Okay. They turn off the lights, and they start showing footage of him at the very locations they asked him about that he said
Oh.
no.
Oh.
The very restaurants that he said no. The very
Oh.
clubs that he said no.
Oh.
Giving dap to the very people that he claimed he didn't know.
Oh.
You know those greetings where you shake
Yep.
hands and pull one another in and shoulder to shoulder and pat each other?
Yep.
He was doing some of that on the film.
Oh wow.
And later on, the wife discovers exactly how they got all that footage and how they knew all that was going on. So the chain with the medallion had a camera.
Oh.
The beeper had a GPS locator.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not funny. Oh. Oh wow.
The ugly brick was recording every conversation he had on that thing.
Oh.
And he was set up by his friend for life, his homeboy. His childhood friend that he went to Catholic school with.
Oh wait.
See, he had been busted. He had been busted in Miami.
Right.
And the feds let him know, listen, you want a lighter sentence? Start giving up some names, man. Start giving up some operations. Start giving us some info. And he gave up his friend for life.
Oh wait.
And I think on my GTM channel, I was talking about, or I was trying to discourage the youth of the hood from getting involved in stuff like that, because you're going to get snitched on.
Yep.
Eventually, you're going to get snitched on. It's going to be a friend, a best friend, a friend for life, a family member. You're going to get snitched on.
They will turn on you. There's no getting around that.
Your enemies will snitch on you for sure.
Definitely.
They'll sick the cops on you. They'll get somebody to work with your crew, and they'll know exactly where you keep your stash. If they don't rob and kill you, they will definitely snitch you out.
Yep. One of them two things. That's your fate.
And then once they get snatched up, they keep gathering intel. The authorities keep gathering intel.
Yep.
And then what they'll do is they'll just snatch up the crumbs for the meantime. And they'll keep gathering intel until finally they get enough information. Like this other man that same gentleman I worked for, he was friends with this guy, and I think I told you the story, but I'll say it again just for the sake of anybody else who's going to see this. This guy, his friend was a heavy hitter in the Bronx for H. Do I need to say what H is?
Uh-oh.
You know what that is, Professor?
I got a pretty good idea. Yeah, I
Right,
just
the
caught.
brown stuff.
Yep.
Right. So, uh, okay, so here we go. So his he had a friend that he was a big shot. He had okay, so here we go. So there was this user,
Right.
and as most users do, they don't always come with all the money, or they don't come with money at all. They're begging. They just need that one fix so that they can get started rolling, and then they can go out and hustle, do whatever they do to get the money. But they need that wake up. They need that one bag just to get them rolling, just to get them started.
Right.
And the guys who are on the street doing hand-to-hand transactions, they get tired of it and they say no. So it got to the point where one of the managers who supervises the guys who do hand-to-hand, he decided to give him a job. We'll give you product and you do some hand-to-hand. Usually the way it works is you get a bundle. It consists of 10 bags.
Right.
And out of the 10 bags, you keep 2 for yourself.
Oh.
Okay. Now, for the average guy who pitches, the pitcher's the guy who does hand-to-hand, the average pitcher will take those 2 bags, sell them, and he'll make $20 because it's $10 each bag.
Right.
Okay. You know, these pitchers were making themselves, and we're talking about high school dropouts making about $500, $600, $700 a day.
Oh.
Yeah. We're talking about 1990, a high school dropout making about $500 to $700 a day. That's damn good money.
It is. Yep.
The pitcher that user started pitching, but he wasn't selling his 2 bags. He was using his 2 bags, but he wasn't making enough. So he started tapping into the bags that didn't correspond to him. So he was coming up short on the cash.
Oh.
So what the manager did was give him the typical ass whooping, right, that you give. And after a while, they just locked his ass up in the basement and cleaned him up.
Oh.
They cleaned him up.
Oh.
So he was all clean now. And instead of making him a pitcher again, they started him out as a lookout. So he'd be walking around the corners and whatnot, and if he saw the police, whoop, whoop, let everybody know that the police were in the area. Everybody knew what to do when they heard that. He was doing well. You know, they give him some money for that.
Right.
And if he wanted to get high, nobody cared, but he didn't. He was behaving. Time went by. They saw that he was behaving. They said, okay, you can make more money as a pitcher. We'll put you on because we see that you're not getting high anymore. So he's pitching. He's doing his thing. Doing pretty good.
Right.
Doing all right. Bam! He gets back on it.
Oof.
Coming up short with the money again.
Uh-oh.
Manager discovers, oh man, this dude All right, look, man. They gave him another ass whooping. Put him back in the basement. Cleaned his ass up again. Went through the whole process all over again.
Right.
Look out. Whoop, whoop. Pitching. This time, he didn't mess up for so long. He actually rose up to manager status.
Oh, okay.
And of all the managers, he was always on point, never missed a dollar bill, kept moving up in rank. He made it up to the number 2 spot of the whole organization. Number 2.
Oh, uh-oh. You can't mess
He
up at that level. Yeah.
No, you can't. You know, because at the number 2 spot, you're dealing directly with the connection. You're dealing directly with the Colombians now, because that's
Yep.
where they were getting their stuff, from the Colombians.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
He was dealing directly with them. He was setting up the whole process. The number 1 guy who's Pop's friend, he finally found someone who he thought could potentially take over the business. He's done. He's almost done.
Oh, wow.
He wants to take a trip to Puerto Rico, so he packs up all his stuff. Lets the number 2 guy know. The number 2 guy broke bread with the family. Everybody knows him. Everybody, the whole family knows him. So he ain't about to mess up. They put so much trust in this dude, he cannot get it twisted. If he gets it twisted, you know how that is.
Yep.
Those are the ones that get it the worst.
Yep.
Because of the amount of confidence they have in him. He's the one that would get it the worst. So he, number 1 guy says, okay, I'm going to leave this in your hands. I'm going to go take this trip. When I get back, we're going to talk. All right. Cool. Goes downstairs with his baggages. He's about to start his car and leave. Number 2 guy comes down and tells number 1 guy, listen, man, I am really sorry, man. I am so sorry. And he pulls out a badge. Federal agent, you're under arrest.
Oh, I did not expect that twist. Number 2 was a Fed?
He was a federal agent. He was consuming. Because of the fact that he was consuming, he was not allowed to testify in court.
But once they got him clean, though.
Because he was providing everything his colleagues needed to know.
I was
They
not
knew
expecting that twist.
Yep. Life without the possibility of parole.
Were the other cops on the scene when they got number 1?
Absolutely. But they were hiding. They were waiting.
And he pulled out that. I bet his face went flush pink.
I would cry.
Me too.
I would cry not because I'm busted, because you took advantage of my confidence. And you know, Donnie Brasco, the federal officer that was the actual Donnie Brasco, admitted that there was a point where he almost went to the other side.
Oh.
Because of that, because of the fact that this was a con.
Oh.
And he felt dirty because of the fact that he was conning these people. You know, these people are ruthless. I'm gonna tell you, these organized criminals, they are ruthless.
You have to
but
be
they Yeah, but they do have standards, right?
Which is crazy. They're ruthless but have standards. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, you know, there's that loyalty, there's the respect. For example, mobsters, they don't get loud with one another.
I've heard of
Italian
that.
mobster.
Yeah.
Italian mobsters don't get loud with one another.
I've heard
And
of
they
that.
don't accuse each other of lying or anything like that. If one mobster accuses another mobster of lying, it's over.
It's over. Yep.
Yeah. He'll be 6 feet under.
Yep.
They don't do that. They don't engage that way. It's very respectful. It's not accusatory. That's how they operate. So yeah, Donnie, the federal agent that was Donnie Brasco, he kind of felt bad. He felt disgusted because he was and that's probably how that guy felt. The number one guy. He probably felt like, wow, you took advantage of my confidence.
Even that drug dealer from California, Freeway Ricky. I think Freeway Ricky is from California. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Freeway Ricky Ross, who the rapper
Yep.
gets his name from.
Yep.
Freeway went down because of a person who was very close to him.
That's usually how it happens.
Yep, and that's what he said. He said, I'm not friends with the guy anymore, but I don't blame him because that's what they do. And he said, when you're going to become a drug dealer, you got to consider that somebody close to you is the one going to tell on you.
Which is exactly why I don't believe that Osama went on about as long as he did without getting caught. I think that's nonsense because at some point in time, somebody around him had to have had some kind of disagreement with him, and it had to have gotten to the point where they were so mad at him, they would have snitched him out.
Yep, I think somebody snitched him out to the United States and told where he was.
Yeah, but that was when Bush was in power.
But still, somebody went to the United States that don't like that dude, or probably had a falling out and said, "This is where you can find him," because they was tired.
It never fails. It never fails.
They're not gonna tell us that, but we know that's what time it is.
Yeah. If you're gonna do dirt, you got to consider that.
Yep.
You got to consider that. It goes with the territory. Look, when you're in a legitimate business, there are people that will feel a certain way because you chastise them or because you have to correct them or something, and they want get backs. They feel like you did them wrong, so they're gonna put some crazy stuff in your product, or they're gonna tell somebody where you keep your stash or where you keep your cash or some kind of code to access something. They'll put it out there.
But they gonna tell on you. That's the bottom line. People.
They're gonna tell.
They're gonna tell on you. It's just how this game works. They're gonna tell on you.
And before you know it, click, click, and
Yep.
See you in court.
Yep, them Popo show up.
Popo be right there.
Yep, Popo be right there.
Dudes you ain't never seen before in uniform calling you by your name, and you don't know who the hell they are.
But they
How the hell you know
you.
my name, man?
That's why I said these theft rings, that's what they're gonna do. Treat that like the new Rico. It's coming. These people know you even when you don't know them. I've
Nope.
worked in I work even now at my job. People will know who I am, and I'm like, I'm quiet. How the heck do you know how good of a work I do? How are you involved in what I do? But they will know you.
Yep. Yep. Just when you thought it was safe.
It's not.
Not one bit. What do you say, Professor? I think I'm going to call it a night.
Yep. I was thinking about that too. I gotta eat something and then start cleaning the house. It's been so hot in Washington the last few days that I can't clean in the daytime.
Yeah. It was up in I was up in Chicago and it was hot.
Yeah, been in the 80s. It's just weird.
It was in the 90s up in Chicago. The Windy City.
Yep. We can
They
call
get some
it
cold winters.
I know you want to go eat them ghost pepper wings. You don't fool me.
Ghost pepper.
Yep,
Okay.
you don't fool me. Just don't mess with that Carolina Reaper though.
I eat those.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You're messing with me. That's the hottest pepper in the United States. It'll blow your butthole out.
Well, that's why I keep wipes with me.
Ridiculous. You ain't mess with no Carolina Reaper.
Yeah. I had
No.
some. It's been a while. I had some. I think it was a year and a half ago.
Oh no.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. And you're absolutely right. It was so hot. I felt the heat inside my ears. Inside my ears.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yep.
The heat was all up in my throat. And you know how in the back of your throat there's an area that connects to your ear, right?
Yep.
That whole thing was on fire.
Oh. I bet you like those Jamaican Scotch bonnets too, don't you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got people stop and stare at me when I go to the bathroom with these small fire extinguishers and whatnot.
Yep.
Need that.
Need it. Yep.
Because when that stuff comes out, you gotta be that pin gotta be pulled and you gotta be ready to, you know what I'm saying?
100%. 100%.
That thing is hot. Okay, it's hot coming out. Your stomach ain't do nothing to buffer that.
That's 100%.
Hot coming out. All right, Professor.
All right.
Thanks again for coming on board.
You're welcome.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
No kidding. Have a good night.
Thank you. You as well. Stay fresh out there.
I will.
Thank you.